Hey guys, John Engel here, and today we're finally going to tackle the Prowler project. We're going to wash it, clay bar it, and polish it. Now, disclaimers all the way around, I am not a professional, so this is kind of like some helpful hints if you're going to try to do it yourself, and then you can just expand on what I've talked about and surpass me in every way. Because my biggest tip to you is pay someone to do it correctly. If it's not something you do often, let someone like a professional do it for you. I'm not a professional, however, I've got a little free time, so a wash, a clay bar, super easy to do, and I probably won't go over too much of that. However, the polishing, I'm kind of curious how good I can get this to look, so I'll take you a little bit more in depth on that. All we can do is get started.
Critical error.
Whoa, stop. There is no way that this video is going to get any traction with me washing a car. Or would it? Anyway, let me make a phone call real quick. It's ringing. Yeah, I didn't have to dial. It's okay. It's direct connection. Hey, Jessica. Yeah, so I'm shooting a video and I really need a favor. Yeah. Bikini? Yep. Car wash? Yep. That's what I'm talking about. Yep. Let's roll that footage. Well, we finished washing the Prowler, and the good news is that part's done. Now, there's tons of more process that needs to be completed, so let's get on to that, and the next would be using a clay bar. Now, I have a brand new clay bar with me, and I suggest that everyone uses a new clay bar each time you're going to do this to a vehicle. Usually, you don't do this that often. It's about $2-3 for a clay bar, and it makes sure that all the contaminants and everything don't get reused on a different car. And we need lubricant for the clay bar, so I'm gonna make some of my own. I've got an old Windex bottle that I've rinsed out, and I've got some car wash soap. So I'm gonna mix these two together and make a solution of soapy water, and that'll be my lubricant. All right, let's get to it. It's never gonna do itself. Okay, so let's get started. We're gonna just spray the area, make sure that you've got a liberal application of soapy water on the area that you're gonna be doing. And then we just take our clay bar, and you just run it back and forth over it. Now you will feel friction, and then once the friction goes away, you know that you've got all the contaminants up. It's actually a really easy process. It's just time consuming, and that's okay, because you know, everyone's got too much time on their hands these days. Get off of Facebook, stay on YouTube, but this will just make everything nice and smooth, and it will help us when we start doing the paint correction itself. Clay barring is done, and now we're back to the step of washing the car. So we've got all the soapy residue on it. We've got to get that off. We've got to wash it now with just standard car washing soap, and then dry it before we can do anything more. So what I'm going to do is wash the car and then dry it with a microfiber drying towel, park it in the garage, and most likely I will do the rest of this video tomorrow morning, which I am soaking wet already. It is hot down here in the south, and it's humid too. We get both of those things. So I am going to wash it. I don't think you guys need to see me wash a car anymore, plus you got the sexy footage from earlier. I'm gonna wash the vehicle, I'm gonna dry it off, I'm gonna put it in the garage, let it dry overnight, and then hopefully tomorrow we can actually start on some detail work. We're going to do a cut and then a polish, and I'm gonna use tape so that we can see if there's a difference. It's gonna be fabulous, so you definitely wanna stay tuned for that. It's gonna take me a lot longer, but in a few seconds, you will see the next step. In all honesty, it definitely has been more than a day since I washed and clay barred the Prowler, but through the miracle of video editing, it feels like mere seconds. So that's the good thing. I have everything I think needed to go ahead and cut and polish the Prowler. I've got my Porter cable, I've got a cut, and I've got a polish, and these are Chemical Guy products. I've got my polishing conditioner, which goes on the pad. I've got chamois and microfiber and a deep mesh microfiber and microfiber pads. I've got more stuff than the chemical guy's online ordering system, but that's okay because we need all of this. So let's get started. Let's take a look at the paint on the Prowler to see where we're starting with. Then let's tape it off. Let's start cutting it. Then let's polish it and see if any of this even makes a difference. God, I hope so, because it takes way too much time. Anyway, let's get to it. Well, I got the painter's tape on, and even from just the light coming off of the ceiling, you can see how bad the paint needs some correction. I've got a brighter light as well, and it's going to show you so much more of the spider webbing, and this is what happens after you have a car that has been neglected. So the next thing that we need to do is cut it and then polish it. So let's get started with that. First thing I'm going to do, give a little bit of this conditioner to the pad. We just spray it on and then just kind of work it in. You just want a nice moist surface so that everything has some lubrication to it. God, I love the chemical guys. Their stuff smells like bubble gum. Doesn't get much better than that. All right, so we've got the final polish, which is V38, and then we've got the cutting, which is V36. So of course we're going to start with V36. So let's put dot there, dot there, dot there, dot there, dot there, dot there, dot in the middle. I think that's good. Let's take this over to the car, get it started. Before I do anything, I've got the extension cord around me so it's not leaning up against anything. I'm just going to take this side first and just kind of pat it around first few spots just to make sure nothing flings. I am only going to have this on number 2 to start with, just to start smearing the compound, and then we'll go up from there. Alright, so I'm going to work in sections, obviously, and you can only do so much at a time, so I chose this section. I'll then take this section, and I'll take this section, and kind of do it that way. Then we'll come back and look at the results. Alright, so I did a cut, which was the V36. Now, you can go and cut even more. I'm not a professional, so I don't like to take a lot off. But let me just show you what I did. So here's the paint, and no, it's not perfect. But look at the difference. Do you see all of the spider webbing around there? Whereas over here it's not as much. Now this paint is 20 some years old, so there's gonna be some imperfections in it, but you can already see just with the cut what this has done. Now I'm gonna go ahead and polish it, which is the same procedure, so I won't show you that, but I'm gonna polish it and then we're gonna see what the difference really is. Alrighty, the polish is done now. So we've cut it, we've polished it. Now we just get all of this off. The Mr. Miyagi wax on, wax off. I won't make you guys suffer through this. Alright, let's take a look at our work. I'm going to get out my, you can already see a difference, but let's get out the flashlight. And while the paint is not perfect, I mean, look at the difference. Look at the difference. Hold on. I'm going to take off the blue tape and see what happens. Give me a second. So I think this shot speaks volumes. Look where nothing has been done to this side. You can see the tape line, and then you can see where I have cut and polished it, and it's just such a difference. It's going to make this car feel like a new car again. Now, I just have to go ahead and do the rest of it. A quick tip is while we're doing the polishing, we want to make sure that all of our plastic parts don't get touched by the polish. Sometimes it can make it turn whitish. So I've used painter's tape and just surrounded that plastic piece by it. And also you can see for the convertible top, I put it up and I put cloths around it so that I can make sure Nothing got splattered on, because there's nothing worse than having a black convertible top with some white marks on it. Well, we are on day 328 of a lifelong adventure into polishing. And behind me, I have cut it and I have polished it. Now onto the last phase of this, and I'm not going to use standard wax. I'm going to use a sealant, and I've got this, which I've never used before, and it seems pretty easy. It says shake well, apply thin film with clean, and I'm going to use a clean microfiber pad. So basically it's the same as wax. You just kind of wipe it on, let it haze, and then wipe it off. And we're going to see how this works. Hopefully this will work really well. Thin layer, so I'm only going to put very little on here. That's how much I put on there. I don't know how much I'm supposed to put on there. But let's just see what happens. We'll just start like right here. All right, so this is my first time using a sealant, and you can see right here where I applied too much, and it doesn't, you really have to rub at it. And I've got a microfiber towel that I can get this off with, but man, it really takes some effort to get this type of stuff off. Now, what you need to do is make sure that when you're applying it that you put a very thin layer. You don't even want to really see it. It's nice when the applicator gets moistened with it so that it has enough in there, and then just rub it over it and it'll buff off very easily. If you get too much, this is what's going to happen. Wow, after seeing this car in the sun, it has made this entire process worthwhile. I am so excited about the results that I was able to achieve and how much of a difference it really has made to the car. So let's recap what we did to this car. First, we gave it a good thorough wash. Then we did clay bar. After clay bar, we did our first cut. After the first cut, we polished the car. And to finalize everything, we put a good sealant on there. So that was kind of the process, and those are the kind of baby steps. Now, what I told you in the beginning I want to hold up to is I am not a professional at this. If this is a process that you're going to do once every 3, 4, 5, 6 years, pay someone to do it. It's not worth the time, energy, the investment in materials that would be needed to do something like this. So, what have we learned from today? It takes a lot of time to do this. That's why to have a professional do it, it is quite expensive. After I did this today, well worth the money, whatever it is, to have someone do it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed me taking you along the process of detailing one of the cars. If so, make sure you hit the like button, make sure to subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.